This morning during breakfast, I started to read 100 Tricks to Appear Smarter in Meetings. This is a book that my other club, Readership Toastmasters, will be discussing in our December meeting. So as I opened the book and I looked at the #1 trick to appear smarter in meetings, it is draw a Venn diagram. I totally got this. So here it is. Venn diagram. Now, this is a simplified version of the one that you have on your handout. So on the opposite side to the speaker's picture, there is a handout that has a few points for the workshop. We are going to breeze through this information. This could easily be a 1 to 3 day retreat just on this topic. So we're only going to touch it in a very shallow depth. But in my opinion, you want to have the 3 P's in your professional speaking business. You have to have a passion for what you're speaking about typically, if you're going to enjoy it at all. You need to solve some kind of problem, or why would people want to hire you? And finally, you have to have a passion and a problem that people will pay you for. You need all 3 things. That's the sweet spot when you get all 3 of those things. So now, I want you, and I'm only going to give you about a minute, think about what is your passion, and maybe you have more than one. So go ahead, write down at least one passion you would have regarding a topic that you really feel you want to share with others, that you could make a difference with. I would like to hear from someone in the back 2 rows who is not currently a professional speaker. What is your passion? Just somebody who's not currently a professional speaker. Yes, Catherine.
So my passion is to engage people in their money management.
All right. Passionate about money. So you can be passionate about money and it's your passion as well. In order to get paid, you have to alleviate some pain or problem for your audience. I would just like to hear a few pains or problems that are not really long sentences because I don't have enough space. So what's a pain or problem you alleviate, Mark?
Public speaking.
So we could call it maybe fear or anxiety around public speaking. I'll just put SP for speaking. Another pain. Yes, Kent?
Fearing the loss of not knowing someone when they're gone.
Fearing. No, I'm trying to understand.
Fearing the loss of someone.
Loss.
Of not knowing someone.
Of.
When they're gone.
Not knowing so it's like a missed opportunity. You miss the opportunity to know someone.
So my focus is on telling stories and telling your story, because once you're gone, no one else can tell that story.
Right. What would be maybe another pain point? Yes, Carrie?
You are not alone.
So the pain is people feel lonely,
or they're alone in their unique fear or concern.
People feel alone. So you would address not feeling alone. Maybe one more, yes?
Being hopelessly messy or disorganized.
Oh. Hopelessly messy. You sound like you might speak from personal experience?
No, not at all.
And I saw your hand up. Jim?
Self-consciousness about your voice and your physical presence.
I'm just going to write self-conscious. You need to solve at least one problem. Or why would people hire you if you don't have a problem that you're solving? So write down, I'll give you 1 more minute. If you don't already have one of these written down, write down a problem related to your passion. If I had 2 hours, I'd have you discuss every single one of these, but we don't. So we are going to move on. Now I want you to think about how else you might provide value in addition to simply giving a presentation. So I'll give you some of my examples. So in addition to speaking, and this would be true for a lot of people, I can coach, I can train larger groups, which is a little different than keynote speaking. I can develop programs for other organizations. Programs, I'm just giving you my list here. I can write books.
Can make people laugh.
Entertaining.
That's true, make people laugh. That is an entertainment value. And people will pay big bucks to be entertained.
No way.
So one thing I did about 1.5 years ago is I have a couple of online courses. What are some other ways you could provide value aside from just being the person up front, maybe giving a keynote? Yes?
In addition to what you mentioned, the post-engagement coaching and consulting, providing the library of resources, but again, I have a vast network and I can provide referrals and recommendations and connect other people to help provide additional support.
Other ideas?
How to own what you have.
What does that mean?
To be able to look internally and have people be introspective and come away with their own solutions.
Okay, so I would almost say that's very close to coaching. Would you say that helping people find their own solutions is part of coaching, or would it be something in addition?
Something in addition, because I actually
I'm
have
gonna
people.
put that right here.
Because I have actually people do it out in the group with each other rather than me.
Find own solutions. Other ways that you think you might be able to provide value. What about, and I'll put this next to training, you could teach, perhaps, especially if you have a graduate degree.
I was going
you
to say
could-
inspire.
Right,
Just kind
you
of
can
teaching,
inspire.
I guess.
But I do know people who will teach online courses or teach for an organization. Like in the summer, I'm teaching for an organization. Inspire. Jim?
I'm going to steal one of Catherine's from our last PowerTalk meeting. Organize and support groups, in your topic area.
Support groups.
Or mastermind.
Groups. Mastermind, I'll just put M. And then I attended a National Speakers Association Minnesota chapter this week, and that person was talking all about having retreats.
Sure.
So the idea here is most speakers do more than just speak. There's a lot of different ways that you can make money associated with your topic. All right, so there are some ideas. Let's move on to the question for your topic. How do you think the hiring organization would profit from hiring you? Because eventually you have to sell the ROI. Even if you don't have hard dollar amounts, you have to sell the organizer, the decision maker, on what value you are bringing that they will profit from if you're speaking on the corporate level. Yes? Retention.
Employee retention.
So, employee, because it costs a lot of money to get new employees.
Yep.
Employee retention. And that could be a lot of ways. You may offer some skill development with those employees so they'll be happy they're working at that organization. You may offer some sort of communication training, conflict resolution, all sorts of things that you could apply to an employee retention. Yes?
It leads to retention, but engagement.
Engagement.
And inclusion, because that's one of the big things in business right now. Getting people engaged so that they feel included, that they feel a part of the community they're a part of.
Feel included. How else could an organization profit?
Productivity.
Okay, productivity. And what were you gonna say, Daryl?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Tell me how that would apply to profiting a corporation.
Well, in the situation where when I speak to people who struggle with addictions and need in treatment centers, if I'm addressing a group that's family oriented who have loved ones that struggle with addiction, in my workshop I teach them how to be able to speak and coach that person through the recovery process. So that would add peace of mind to those people who are actually learning that information.
Well, great. Anything else that you can think of right now, Vitalia?
Increase your bottom line through not only better customer service, but by improving it through compassionate customer service.
Can you give me an example?
Increasing your sales volumes by the way that you treat people and having the human relation skills and how you interact with them, improving that.
Yes, and if you speak on anything for which there could be legal action and you could mitigate that or nip it in the bud before it happens, for example, on diversity training, that would be an ROI. So I'll put reduced legal money. So those are just some ideas of ways you could offer value, particularly to corporations, if you're speaking to that particular market.
One other one I had, Diane, was motivation. I was called in to help motivate a sales team to get a certain goal. They were at a certain point where they were looking to get a certain goal for the month, and the guy thought it would be a good idea to bring me in to energize them. So I gave him a motivational speech using certain antidotes along the way.
Well, great.
Yeah.
All right, now you need to think about who your ideal audience is. Not everyone will appeal or even have a topic necessarily for every audience. You may have a very niche topic, like you do, Daryl. You have a very niche topic, and that's not a bad thing. That allows you to be known for that topic versus something that's a little more broad. So think about your ideal audience. You can consider professions you've worked in. You might have industry connections. You might consider hobbies that you have, and even volunteer organization. For those of you who are currently professional speakers, how have you figured out your ideal audience? I'll just ask a few of you. Vitalia?
For my PowerTalk seminars company, I thought that I would be speaking to presidents and CEOs of company and realized I didn't have that background, that my content is a better fit for entry-level supervisors. And it took me about 5 years to figure that out. Once I figured that out, then I was getting booked multiple times.
Great. So hopefully you have some ideas on who your ideal audience might be. And your audience may change over time. You just need, for what I'm doing now, this could be my ideal audience. And number 6, well, this is a bit of a stretch because I'm going to ask you to do it off the top of your head. Create a concise title for marketing your presentation. I have try out 2 or 3 for now. Well, just try out one idea. And it could be very, very short, such as I have a program called Speak with Confidence. Very short title. It kind of tells you the benefit right in the title. I have a longer title that I have to actually look at so I don't forget it, that sometimes can work for keynotes. It's Leaders Stay Curious. Why asking questions beats knowing answers. So you can kind of go either way. You can have something short or something a little longer. So just take a stab at it. Just for your topic, make something up. You can change it later. You got done really fast. I would love to hear what you wrote.
GPS, Guidance to Personal Success while navigating through life transitions.
Oh, GPS, Guidance to Personal Success. That even has a little bit of a tricky idea there. Who else has maybe an idea they want to share? For it? Yes, Ken?
Untold stories. Will you miss them when you're gone?
Oh, that's like, make me cry right now, Ken. Okay. So you may not have something right now because I am zooming through this content. You can always go back and spend more time on each of these steps. This just gives you sort of the how-to approach to getting started. Fee or free? We had a little bit of a talk on that. And I will have to tell you, I know when he was saying 10,000, I'm like, I don't know anybody unless you are a celebrity that starts at 10,000. But some very good points were made. Now, I started out speaking for free. And then, because I wanted to qualify for the National Speakers Association, I spoke for organizations that typically did not pay, but I asked them to pay me anyway, an honorarium, and I explained I'm trying to qualify for the National Speakers Association and I have to get 20 paid speeches in 1 year. And so I got honorariums ranging from $100 to $500, which, hey, I'll take that.
And may I suggest again, for any aspiring professional speakers, rephrase that question. Instead of fee or free, ask yourself or make the statement fee and free. Do both.
Right. And I would suggest, whenever you speak, look how much value you can get out of it. Are you speaking in front of just the right audience who may have people who will hire you? Can you get a list of the attendees that you can market to with your newsletter? What other value can you get? I spoke once in Copenhagen, Denmark, and they paid my full fee, which was great, but I also got to go to Copenhagen, Denmark, and they paid for my travel. So that was like a great value for me. So think about getting started. If you are an expert in your topic, you may be able to command a fee right away. Like, I know you have a PhD, right? And you have a specialized topic. If you haven't already been paid to speak, you should be. Have you been paid to speak?
Not yet.
You should be. You are an expert on your topic and you're a fantastic speaker. Go for the gold, right? Just do it. Now, the tough question. You just need to do it. Who will you contact in the next week? Maybe it'll be the Rotary Club. Maybe it'll be some other connection that you have to see about speaking at an organization outside of Toastmasters. That's often the first step, is get outside of your comfort zone a little bit. So I would like you to write down at least one name of an actual person or an organization where you can look up a person's name that you could contact next week. All right, let's come back together. I have a question related to this content from the audience. Carrie asked me, she is now speaking for the first time to a group outside of Toastmasters. She has her last session with them next week. How could she essentially get more business? Well, ideally you want to stay connected with these people. So if you have not already, connect with them all on LinkedIn. I do that before a speaking engagement, and after the speaking engagement, I send a LinkedIn recommendation request. So I build testimonials that I can then pull out for my own marketing use as well. Now maybe 15% of them will actually do something, but I have some 70-some recommendations on LinkedIn that I can pull and use for different purposes. The other thing is you might want to start thinking 2 steps ahead. Do you have a newsletter? Could you start a newsletter? Have a sign-up sheet for your newsletter with something of value, maybe certain tips in your area every 2 weeks or every month, whatever works for you. So get connected with them, because then giving out your business card, I said, you don't even need business cards. You do not need business cards. I mean, they're nice to have, but you want other people's cards. You want other people's
And what if you're not established yet? So connecting them to LinkedIn is going to connect them to my day job. It's not going to my, and maybe that's the answer. My LinkedIn is not, hey,
well, maybe you
here
wanna add something to your LinkedIn
I suppose
on your
I better get to
profile.
that this
So
week.
you can do that.
That's exactly what I did on LinkedIn, is added about me speaking, and once a week post something on LinkedIn about speaking.
I will say I posted a few articles last year regarding speaking skills, and I had Toastmasters International contact me and ask me to write 2 articles for the Toastmaster magazine because I had put some stuff on LinkedIn. You just never know what's going to come out of it. Now, here is the big question. How likely is it on a scale of 1 to 10 that you will take action next week? 10 is there is no doubt I'm taking action. 5 is like, well, I don't know, maybe. And 1 would be like, no, I'm not going to. So write that number down.
And now write the honest number down.
And write the honest number down. And tell your partner how likely it is. All right. I want to see the hands of the people who wrote down a 10. Raise your hand. All right.